Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to deliver a lesson for class 12, subject zoology. My today's topic is the paleontological evidences of evolution. Before going into the details of the topic, we must understand what is paleontology. Paleontology is the branch of science that deals with the study of the history of life on Earth based on the careful study of fossils. Now, what are fossils? Fossils are actually the remains of organisms which existed long time ago, thousands of years back. They are found in the form of skeleton or pieces of bones, or sometimes just impressions buried under the ground. Now, how these fossils were formed? As we already know that millions of years ago, large number of organisms got buried due to disasters like floods, earthquakes, volcanoes, etc. The remnants and impressions of such organisms remain preserved underground. These remains or impressions are called fossils. And the careful analysis of distribution of fossils in different strata of rocks, we can come to the conclusion that how life has evolved from simpler forms to the complex ones. Now, age of these fossils is determined by a famous technique called the carbon dating. This carbon dating method was developed by a scientist known as Willard Libby, and in 1960 he was awarded Nobel Prize for his work. In carbon dating, isotopes of carbon, that is carbon 12 and carbon 14, are studied, which are present in living organisms. Now, isotopes are the different forms of the same element with similar atomic number and different atomic mass. Now, age of the fossils is determined by measuring the ratio of these two forms of carbon, that is carbon 12 and carbon 14 present in them. And you must know that in these two forms, carbon 14 is having the radioactive property, and radioactivity means that it is constantly decomposing or disintegrating. Now, after this, we will study some examples of paleontological evidences. First of all, we will study the most important evidence of paleontological evidence, that is the missing links. Under this heading, we study some organisms, the fossils of some organisms that are extinct, that is, they don't exist anymore. Fossils of such organisms show characteristic features of two groups of animals. For example, the fossils of Archaeopteryx was found, and by careful study of this fossil, we came to the conclusion that it depicts the characters of two different groups. That is, some of the characters resembled as reptilian characters, and some characters were avian characters. Then those characters those characters which are found in present-day birds. Now, so far the reptilian characters of this fossil are concerned, these were the presence of teeth, precaudal vertebrae, and presence of claws in digits, which are the characters of reptilia. At the same time, it also depicted the avian characters such as presence of beak, presence of wings, 3 fingers and 4 digits, and presence of furnicula, which is a bone which has the attachments for flight muscle. Now, this shows that these fossils show the characters of 2 groups, that both birds and reptiles. It also means that these avians or birds have evolved from reptilians, or they might have a common ancestor. Now, the second example of missing link is the example of pteridosperm. It was a plant fossil which shows the characters of a fern and also the characters of gymnosperms. Among fern characters, it shows the spore formation, that is a very important character of ferns, and at the same time this fossil shows the evidences of that it had seeds and showed secondary growth, which are the characters of a gymnosperm. Now, this also shows that both of these groups might have a common ancestor. Now, another example of this paleontological evidence is the timeline evolution. That is, by careful analysis of these fossils in different strata of rocks, when different species were formed or become extinct, can be concluded. Now, paleontologists have built up extensive collections of fossils from all over the world. The fossil record has helped in building a broad historical sequence of biological evolution. Phylogeny, the evolutionary history of organism, can sometimes be reconstructed with the help of fossils. Thus, we can see that the paleontological evidences serve as a strong evidence in favor of evolution and point towards the common ancestry. In our next lesson, we will study about the other evidences which favor that evolution had taken place. Until then, thank you. Thank you very much.